Well, Leonard, you know, standard in the industry, if you're going to protect and beautify parts on your car, you go to powder coating. But you guys have gone way beyond powder coating. For protection and beautification, you have gone to brilliant beautification. You actually have added just about every step of paint to powder coating that I never knew was possible.
That's correct. What we've done is we've created a base solution, waterborne, so we have no hazards, into which standard powder coating can be dispersed, and that allows it to be applied as a normal wet sprayed paint. This means that you do not need the expensive equipment for electrostatic application. But it goes beyond that. Now you can coat virtually any material. Electrostatic application requires charging both the powder and the part, so typically you're dealing with metals that'll carry a charge. But now applying it as a liquid, you remove that necessity. You can apply it to any material and it will adhere. And unlike powder, which once it dries, you have to be careful. You can knock it off, or if you have a stiff breeze or something, it will simply fall off the part. This will not. The only way you'd remove it is to rub it with your hand inadvertently, or if you say, oops, I made a mistake, you can simply wash it off with water and start over again. But it goes beyond that. We can make combinations of colors and effects that you simply cannot do with either powder or wet paint. And this is the real advantage. We're not trying to replace powder, we're expanding the market for the powder coater and opening the market up to other companies who would like to get involved in applying these type of coatings to a variety of parts. Now, we mentioned not just metal. This is a plastic valve cover, and this has 4 separate coatings applied to it. And you'll notice the special effects. You can see the lettering that has been done, which even has an embossed finish to it. This part is an example of the plastic, which this can could handle the full cure temperature, could then be placed in an oven just like normal powder coating would and fully cured in place. On the other hand, if your substrate cannot handle the full cure, it would warp or melt itself. Right. As an example, these pieces of plastic pipe, we simply use the heat gun to melt the powder out fully without heating the plastic up so that it deformed or melted. In fact, we could back away for a few moments and let the plastic cool, or we could even spray it with a little water to cool it, and then just simply apply heat again until it fully melted out. Now, of course, it's not cross-linked, it's not finished, it has no chemical protection, not its fullest hardness. Not a problem. We make a new clear coating called LTC. You simply spray that over the part and let it cure. We recommend 24 hours. At that point, it is fully cured, can be handled, gives you greater durability than cured cross-linked powder, and has more chemical resistance than powder will have. It is virtually unaffected by any fuel or solvent or even acids that will come in contact with that clear coat.
That's amazing. Who would have ever thought you could actually powder coat plastic? And one other advantage of this is that, as you had mentioned, if you try to spray something on the inside like this, powder coating being metal, you're going to see it collect on the edge because it's electrically charged. But I see this as powder coated all the way down through. So what a tremendous advantage. And there's a number of others as well. You can get into cracks and crevices that you wouldn't be able to.
Right. As an example on this part right here, whether it is a liquid or an electrostatic application, this was metal, you couldn't get down into the very tight crevices here. No problem, we wet sprayed everywhere we could. Then again, we took our brush and simply painted those areas that couldn't be reached, and then we were able to flow through it. This allows us to coat a variety of materials. In fact, you can even pinstripe with this material and then melt it in place. If you make a mistake, you go back with a damp cloth and wipe it off and start all over again. Woods, plastics, metal is an example. This is simply a piece of wood that has had multiple coats of powder with a special effect pigment applied to it, and it's just simply a piece of wood.